Can you get an awesome hobby grade RC truck for 130 bucks? Today we're going to take a look at this DeeRc 16889 Pro 16th scale truck, and we're going to find out. We're going to pull this thing apart, take a look at it very closely, talk about its specifications and show you what you get. Then we're going to take this thing out, see how fast it'll go, and we're going to bash it and take it up against the torture ramp. If you haven't seen that new ramp yet, I just built it recently and I think you're going to want to see it. See just how durable this thing is. Then we're going to come back in and let you know if I think this is worth the money. Now, I've had quite a few of these off-brand trucks in the past and I've never really been super impressed with them. Some of them are better, some of them are worse, but I've just never really been happy with any of them. Hopefully with this one, that'll change. Before we take a closer look at this, let's see what you get in the package. All right, so first thing we get is a manual. As you can see, like I said, this is the 16889. Comes in a bunch of different brands, but that 16889 is a pretty standard number with this truck. I got the Pro version. I don't think getting anything but the Pro version is worth it. I'll explain a little bit more about what you get with the Pro version in a few minutes. In this manual, you get some information about USB charger, which we'll look at in a minute, and then just general information that you would expect to get in a manual, as well as parts information and exploded diagrams. We also get a sheet for the charger. Comes with a cool 2S 1000 milliamp hour LiPo. This one feels like a standard LiPo. Not sure about the quality of this yet. Once I put it on my charger, I can take a look at the internal resistance and I'll let you know how that is. We get some stickers. I'll put these on in a minute. We actually get a little lighting kit with this, which we'll go ahead and install as well. We get a USB charger for the battery. Now, these USB chargers are okay, but personally, I wouldn't trust them. One, they're gonna be pretty slow. Of course, it's a small battery, so that won't be that big of a deal, but they really aren't that reliable when it comes to charging a battery properly. If you're gonna get a LiPo battery and you're gonna get into this hobby, go ahead and get a decent LiPo charger. But this one will get you started. We get an extra set of body clips because the original body clips are sitting right over there off camera. And we even get a little wheelie bar. I'm gonna go ahead and get this installed as well. All right, let's take a closer look at the truck. Now, this is a 4-wheel drive, shaft-driven, brushless monster truck. Let me take the body off. Now this body, it feels, I'll be honest with you, it feels pretty good. Now this is a small body, so the thinness of it isn't gonna be as apparent as on a larger body, but this material is actually reasonably thick, and I think this body's gonna hold up pretty well. I have had much more expensive name brand RTR trucks with thinner bodies than this. Under the body, we've got a pretty typical layout here. This is a brushless truck. It has a 2-in-1 ESC and receiver, but it does have a standard 3-wire servo here, so this servo can be replaced and upgraded without having to replace all the rest of the electronics. No slipper clutch in this. It's all going to be Phillips self-tapping hardware, no machine screws in this. Has a standard plastic chassis, a little bit of a high center of gravity chassis here, but pretty standard. Chassis feels good. There's a decent amount of flex in it. These tires feel pretty good. I don't think there's any foam in them, but the tires themselves are reasonably stiff, and with how light this truck is, I think that's going to work well. Now, taking a look at some of the things you get with that Pro version, we've got plastic threaded body shocks with aluminum nuts and plastic caps. These are oil-filled shocks, and that oil fill feels pretty good in the front and also pretty good in the back. We've got steel CVDs front and steel dog bones in the rear. We've got plastic arms front and rear with metal pins, of course. These are captured in plastic. Once again, this is a pretty light truck, so I don't think that's gonna be that big of a deal. We don't really need metal here, but we'll see when we bash it if that's actually true. Now, I don't see anywhere on here that says this is waterproof. It looks like the servo is probably water resistant. I see some sealant here with the wire, but this receiver probably is not water resistant, so get this thing wet at your own risk. What I want to go ahead and do now is I'm going to pull one of the differentials out and we'll pull this plate off the top, take a look at the rest of the drivetrain and see how that looks. But before we do that, I want to take this opportunity to let you guys know that this channel is growing fast, and if you want to be part of this growing channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up, including RC news, more vehicles like this. We've got the new Kyosho 10th scale basher coming up and a lot of other stuff, so make sure you get subscribed, like this video, and as you go through the video, if you have any comments or questions, be sure to put them down in the comments because I love to hear from you. All right, let's get this thing apart and see what it looks like. All right, guys, I am really impressed with this thing so far, taking it apart. I expected everything to be all metal, but what I didn't really expect is for everything to be all steel. This ring and pinion gear, this is steel. These outdrives, these are steel. Bearings, sealed. Spur and pinion, steel. Center drive shaft, steel. The entire drivetrain on this thing is made out of steel. Now this thing is priced less than the Traxxas Teton, but is equipped better than the Traxxas 1/16 cars in many respects. If this thing can hold up some bashing, there might be a real winner here. Taking a closer look at the driveline, the gears look fine. These are obviously going to be sintered metal gears, just like Traxxas uses in pretty much everything, including the $1,000 X-Max. These Drive shafts look okay. Again, the spur and pinion look great, no issues there. There's no slipper clutch on this, which makes me a little bit nervous, but it's probably not going to be that powerful, so it'll probably be okay. They're all back together. Body's got some stickers on it. The only stickers I saw that were really interesting were these Ravage stickers, and then got the little grill and lights on the front, lights on the back, another Ravage sticker back there. Got this wheelie bar on. Again, impressed with the quality. This wheelie bar has ball bearings in it. You don't see ball bearings in a wheelie bar on vehicles that cost significantly more than this. So another great feature. Also charged up this little 2S LiPo. Internal resistance was right around 10 milliohms in both cells, kind of exactly where I expected it to be. Put the little light kit in. Again, great attention to detail. Wires pass right through the front shock tower. Lights go in nice and tight. They even give you a little piece of foam for this little adapter here. Then I threw some batteries in this transmitter. This transmitter is okay. No major issues with it. It does feel pretty cheap, but again, I've felt cheaper feeling transmitters on more expensive vehicles. This has a speed knob on it, so if you have little kids, you can turn this way down slow, or you can turn it all the way up to its maximum power, whatever that's gonna be. All right, I'm excited to get this thing out, see how fast it'll go, because it can look great, but if it isn't fast, fun, and durable, it's no good. All right, well, we got the battery all charged up. Let's see how fast this thing will go. All right, well, it's not too quick, but it's also not terrible for a little car like this. I know you can run these on 3S, but it's only supposed to be run on 2S, so that's what I'm gonna stick with for this. All right, let's see how we did. 24 miles an hour, that's not too bad, but I mean, this thing's got a decent amount of power. It'll do wheelies and it'll do burnouts and stuff like that and flip itself over, so I think that's plenty of power. Let's take it out back and bash it. Well, this thing is an impressive little beast as far as I'm concerned. It's not the fastest thing in the world as you saw, but it's plenty fast for its size, and it seems to be really durable. I bashed and crashed this thing for a couple of packs, jumped it higher than you probably should, and I haven't had a single thing break on it. The only major problem I think this thing has are these tires. These tires kind of suck. They're really hard, and they don't really get a lot of grip, and then when they do get grip, it's kind of inconsistent and tends to lead to it slipping and sliding around. I'm probably going to put a set of 2.2-inch trenchers on here. They're not terribly expensive, and I think that's really going to help this thing's handling. So is this thing a 1/16 Traxxas killer? It depends on what you're looking for. The Traxxas is going to be faster if you get the VXL. It'll be probably similar in speed if you get the brushed version. Traxxas parts will be a little bit easier to get, but it's going to cost you at least twice as much, if not more, if you get the brushless version. So who is this car for? I think it's for everybody. Just go buy one. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't. If you're in this hobby, if you're just getting into it, go buy one. If you're in this hobby and you've been in it a long time and you've got a bunch of cars, it's cheap, just go buy one. There's no reason I can think to not have one of these 16889 Pros in your stable. It'd be great just for throwing in the car, go camping. It's just an awesome all-around little car. So go pick one of these things up right after you subscribe, hit that like button, give me a comment, let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one.